Right, are we good? Where are the boats? Disappeared, the members have disappeared. Right, are we good? Where is your boat? There. Alright, good. Right, guys. Now your mandate is different. Your mandate is different now. So like I told you before the tea break, you've accepted the offer and it had gone to the venture capital company, and now you sit in the board of the venture capital, right? And now you need to decide whether you are going to invest in this company or not. So you need to have your board meetings to decide on that. I can help you to understand the structure of your decision. Generally, venture capital companies take decisions based on the risk-return index. So you need to understand what your returns are. For that, you can calculate what's your input, which is obviously $2.5 million. And what's your output? You can figure this out with the share price and how many shares you hold. All these are mathematics. And what's your return? I'll put a question mark here. Versus what risks are we exposed to? Now, who are we this time? The venture capital company is the we. What risks are we exposed to? And then you need to get into a discussion within your board. Is this return worthwhile the risk? Is this return worthwhile the risk? So you need to assess your risk and then decide, is it worthwhile the risk? Alright? So I'll give you 15 minutes to take a decision.
This one is the last price from here, 65%. Out of this one, 65%. After 8 years,
Yeah, but that is for the company, no? That's how it is. Not 10 million index. Only 3.5 million. Without cash flow, cable inflation is at 15%. And then 8 years, the 0.327 is the future value. So that means your 10 million on 8 years time is actually 3.49 billion. That's an assumption. You can take 10% as inflation, but in your management discussion, we have to
So you can standardize
this is a table.
this contract is how many years?
DCF table again. Yeah. Oh, okay. Big decisions. There's two guys always sitting there. And these two guys have to
business एक risky नहीं है यार, business एक safety
Solomon versus Solomon. Solomon versus feasibility there, which
Right. Are we good? Did we take a decision?
Yes.
Yes? All good? Guys, all good? Ready? Ready? Yeah? No good. Right. Now what happens here? We need to, guys, we need to now listen to you all. Last time we got a split decision. 3 to 3. So this time we'll start with this group first. What do you think? You all are now the venture capital company. So what's your decision now? You're going to go ahead with it?
We're going to go ahead with that.
What's can you help me understand what's the...
It's due to like 10.6 million the return.
Out is 13 something?
13.1 million. 13.146 million.
13.146
million.
146.
So return is around 10.646.
Return is around 10.646.
At the end of 8 years, so which is about 4.26 times of investment.
4.26 times. That's about 526% return.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Right. So for 526% return, what risks do you foresee?
Risk we have
Tell me
down
two risks.
KX3S trial failure is one risk.
KS3X
Trial failure.
trials can fail. Guys. Trials could fail.
And then the legal case and the associated expenses plus the fine if the case loses.
Loss of legal case.
Yeah. And then
We'll stop at that. Yeah, very good. I mean, these were actually some of the points the venture capital company considered before they went in for a decision. Yeah. What about your decision? We couldn't take account of the decision. So the decision was yes versus no. So they said they're taking the decision. Yeah?
Yeah, we are, yes.
You're also going ahead with the decision.
And calculation is
Calculation is good, right?
Yeah, and the risk, first one is that after 8 years, when you go for exit, the value of the shares is, because since being a technical company, we are not sure that the return will be what is the return?
Yeah, 8 years in the tech industry could be too long. That's a very valid point. 8 years too long. If you want to know what happened to Nokia, in the year 2011, they were the market leaders. Yeah, but year 2016, March, they were filing for bankruptcy. The CEO came to a press conference and cried and said, didn't know what happened to us. You know? So the tech industry, things can move very fast. New technology can be developed and the existing technology can go bad pretty fast. Yeah, so that's a very good point. So in a tech industry, waiting for 8 years could be a little too much of a risk. Yeah?
I think we will also go with funding the company.
So you are going ahead with this, huh? Right, okay. Reasons, risks. Any other risks you foresee?
Yeah, the risk, I think one is these three people's ability to manage the fund.
Manage the fund.
Yeah, I mean manage the capital, the extra capital, these three people. And also,
So you doubt management capability?
yeah, and also since they will have less percentage ownership of the company, they may not, one of them may decide to leave.
Very good point. How did you get that point in? Tell me more details about it.
When they have 100% ownership.
Right.
So
Are you talking about Paul Serra or Harry?
they're talking mainly about Paul, but it can also.
But Paul had how much? Paul had 90%. So 90% down to 35%. He still has 32%. He's good.
And also the other two people.
So talk about the other two.
Yes.
Sarah, what percentage Sarah originally had? Now her 5% is coming down by 1/3. So how much is 1/3 of 5%? That's a very good point. 1.3 something. 1.67%. So now Sarah is holding 1.67 of the company. Does it excite her? I don't think so. Harry also holds 1.67% of the company. So after the investment, Sarah and Harry, especially Sarah and Harry, would be only 1.67% each. They may leave. Because 1.67 might not excite someone as talented as Sarah and Harry to stay in the company. That's a very good point. Very good point. Okay. This group?
Yeah, we also
Taking it, huh?
we also agreed to invest on the company.
Right, okay.
And the main reason, other than the points raised by my colleague, mainly the companies on the mezzanine stage with the we are entering to the market with gains and like it's 2.4 per share, and we are purchasing it for 1.72.
Okay.
So that itself is a big gain from the beginning. So that is one of the reason we approached the company for investments.
I'm not clear. Tell me again.
2 points what we want to explain. One is the company is in the mezzanine stage. So it's not a new company. So risk is a bit lower compared to the seeding company. So that is one reason. The other one, investment itself is starting with a gain, because in the market the shares are traded at 1.72, whereas
2.4 and you are getting it at 1.7.
Approaching, yeah, we are
Very good point.
premium, yeah.
Good point. Well done. Yes.
Okay.
What's your decision?
They've got one more.
Let me
Yes, I think other than the points we already discussed,
No, what's your decision?
decision is to go with them.
Okay.
But in terms of the numbers, our numbers are slightly lower than what is mentioned. We considered about the discounted the future value of the cash.
Okay.
We considered the political volatility and the economic inflation of Thailand, and then we built in 15% inflation. So our numbers will be about 236% versus a future cash flow of $3.5 million. Of the 10 million becomes 3.5 million today.
So you think 526% is wrong and it's 236 because when you take the time value of money into
Yes.
consideration.
So,
time value of money
but
is
still it is higher than what it is.
it's good. Yeah.
By a certain margin. And then we also, as a positive, we also consider that they have their track record, and being award-winning track record, they will continue to. Our initial decision of giving the indicative offer, we continue to believe in them on their technology and the ability to survive in the market for 8 years.
So no other risks you foresee other than these risks?
So we took, political volatility was one thing where we discounted the cash flow.
Okay, good. Well done. Last group?
Yeah. From our perspective also we will go for it.
Right. So it's a unanimous decision.
On the risk factor, we see those three guys who are so experts in the industry, whatever the business they are into. So even though they take the 65% control or whatever, still they are going to be the decision makers.
Right.
And they come out of a passion of doing something. So in any terms, whether in a right or wrong terms, negotiation with them will be that not easy, because they are already experts. So that's one negative factor we see. But on the other side, if you see the opportunities, the CEO is making a preliminary offer to a techie company, in the sense, these guys, they have identified these technological companies have a scope of growing. There's an opportunity to put your money and get some huge return. So if a company is already performing well, everything is fine, there is no room for a venture capital company to get in. So this crisis in the company, there are so many crises going on. One is there is a legal battle going on. They want to come out of it. On the other side, they need to go up to a different level. They are already performing at a reasonably well level. They got awards and everything, and they want to go to the next level. So that financial crisis, going to the next level. So these are the type of crises they are having. And for a venture capitalist company, this is the opportunity to get into an industry of this caliber, because if the company, with the company everything is smooth, everybody will come and invest. So this crisis we see as an opportunity in this company.
Good. So you don't see any more risks here?
Apart from what I said,
there's
like
a good.
all listed here.
Right, okay.
And we see one more there, like that is the Omron competitive threat.
Yeah.
Who's a giant by
Okay.
far.
So quite apart from the legal case, you see Omron coming in and disturbing the company. What about the company's product portfolio? What do you think? Product portfolio? Is it a very diverse product portfolio? Yeah, it's pretty much dependent on one product, isn't it? So the company's product portfolio is very narrow. So if this product goes down the legal battle, or if this didn't succeed, Apple's trials might have quite a big impact. What about the expertise? Where are the expertise lying? Paul, Sarah, Harry? Of the three, who you think is the real controller? Paul and Harry. Of Paul and Harry also, whom you think is the real? Paul is like the live wire of the company. Yeah? How old is he?
42.
42, 8 years ago, huh? Isn't it?
No.
Is he 42 now?
Going to be 8 years.
He's going to be 50.
He's 50 now?
No, after 2.
He's going to be 50.
How old is he now?
He's 42 now. We considered that actually and took a risk on that.
That's why we were not
He's
taking
at
it as a
42.
risk, because in 8 years he'll be at 50.
In 8 years, he'll be 50.
Still in good condition to work.
So what if he pops, guys? What if he pops? What if Paul pops? Don't you see a risk there? You think at 50 people won't pop?
Very rare.
Very rarely?
Otherwise we will also.
At 42 we are doing MBA.
Okay.
We are
Sorry. You already pointed out. They didn't listen. Huh? Very bad chairman. You know, the
They are already in 42.
No, we are already audited. We are still starting our entrepreneurial project. In
Guys, actually, the venture capital company wanted Paul to undergo all medical tests, including HIV, right? Before they gave the offer. Everything, right? Including HIV. Because they wanted to see whether Paul is fit enough to run the business. Yes, you are right, 42 is not an age to die. 8 years it will be 50, at 50, at today's age people are very young and fit and trim. But they checked that. So probably another risk here could be that the whole company is Paul-centric. Paul-centric. If something happens to him, the whole business would have shaken. Yeah. Now let me tell you the real incident. Yeah. The real incident was the company decided not to accept. Yeah? Right? And I fully agree with it. Because of compounding factor. compounding factor. Because your in, or for that matter start, into compounding factor is your out or the end. In into compounding factor is the end. We did this calculation, actually I did this calculation and showed it to you in this little Excel. I can show it back to you. That's why this compounding factor language in finance is such an important see the compounding factor. Start multiplied by the compounding factor is the end. Start multiplied by the compounding factor is the end. So what's your in? Your in is 2.5. What's your compounding factor? 1 plus whatever the rate, your return rate, to the power 8 years. You have to wait for 8 long years for this. To the power 8 years is your out, which is 13.146. So your return is actually, or in fact 1 plus return to the power 8 is actually 13.14 divided by 2.5. In fact 1 plus return is 13.14 divided by 2.5 to the root, yeah, which is only 23%. Yeah, which is only 23%. So are you ready? So I'll just give you 2 minutes to absorb this. Got it? Are you ready to absorb all these risks? Of 23 risks. I don't think so. I wouldn't. So the venture capital company wrote back to Paul, Sarah and Harry and said, very sorry, our CEO, mockery of errors, our CEO has given this offer to you, but it came to the board and the board rejects it. So we are not in a position to go ahead. Yeah. Make sense to you? That's the IRR on the other hand. That's the IRR on the other hand. Good point. Yeah? So what happened to this company? You think they closed down?
No.
Who said no? What other options do you have?
Private.
You have no savings.
Private placement.
All your borrowing capacities are exhausted. Banks are saying no. You went to venture capital. Now venture capital also says no. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to commit suicide?
Private placement.
Some says private placement. Yes. Paul, my good friend, tried couple of private placements. Nobody was interested. Good point. Offer a joint venture with Apple. Talk more about it. Apple is such a multinational giant.
Subsidy.
They won't come for a joint venture, but think more. Joint with Omron. They do. Omron is their enemy, no? Your thinking is right. Go a little bit more on that. Supply chain. Here we have experts in supply chain. Not a joint venture. Guys. Very good. What did you say? Yeah. They went to Apple, right? This was Paul's last trump. They went to Apple and they said, give us money. Give us an advance payment. Pending trials. So Apple also took a risk. Pending trials, give us an advance payment. What could be the deal? If the trials are successful, we will supply this product to you at a discount. That discount is the repayment of the advance payment. Can I repeat? If the product is successful, we will supply the product to you at a discounted rate. And that discount is your repayment of the loan or repayment of the supply rate. So Paul, such a gutsy entrepreneur, never gave up. He finally went to one of his customers and took money from the customer. Yeah? And Apple said, fine, but you only can supply this to us. We are taking such a big risk, we are paying you money, advance payment like she said, even before the trials. But in return, you have to give us a commitment that this product cannot be given to any other company. Agreement signed. To their luck, what happened? To their luck, the trials passed. And they started supplying to Apple. Company is doing pretty well. Yeah. Sarah, the marketing lady, resigned because she wasn't excited. That's why I was very happy when someone said, like, you know, can Sarah leave and all that. She left the company 6 months later because she wasn't excited enough to hold 5% of a company. So the venture capital deal didn't go through, no, so still they are holding their Paul's 90%, Harry and Sarah 5% each. She was not inspired to hold 5%, so she broke off and formed her own company, which wasn't successful. Now she's teaching in a university, you know, after it became unsuccessful. So Harry continued, so as Paul, and with this very innovative funding technique, the company survived. Yeah. So that's the true story. Omron is Omron. You can Google and find out. I didn't disguise Omron. Omron is Omron. Yeah, I'm sure HP, you know Omron. Do you know Omron? Yeah. Very powerful company. And all these three are breakaways of Omron. Right? So here you got an opportunity to go through funding, capital, equity, financing a company, debates, board meetings, cost of capital, IRR, risk versus return, by really getting your hands dirty on an example and sitting on two sides, you know, one on the customer side and one on the venture capital side. And this is a true example. I wrote this, inspired by true events. I have, I think, said that. This is not a case which is downloaded from internet or whatever. It's written by. Good? Make sense? Questions? Suggestions? Comments?
Venture capital was from.
Oh yes. Ah, very good. That's a good point. Thank you. Thank you. That's a good point. I missed that point. So venture capital was wrong. Venture capital was wrong.
We were right.
Yeah.
Addition is correct.
Ah. Well, guys, there's something called right or wrong here. Right or wrong here. It depends. No, I think that's a good point. I mean, whether it's right or wrong, I think you shouldn't look at this from that perspective. It's all about learning the model. So was venture capital actually wrong?
They didn't.
I don't think so, because 23% anyway is not their piece of cake. I am not going to tell you that Paul is making 526% return today. He is running a successful company, mediocre returns, right? That doesn't mean that the venture capital company will regret and say, we lost a fantastic opportunity, we could have gone with Paul. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because this is not a venture capital game. This is like 26% is not venture capital game. That's the other message I want to tell you. Venture capital game is like 40%, 50%, 60%, 100% game. I'll help you calculate. Let's look at innocent. Let's calculate innocent, guys. Let's take some two figures and calculate innocent. Huh? Where's my innocent? Innocent. Innocent was, can somebody help us calculate this? Yeah, here we have. What did they put? They put 150 million. After 7 years, they got 20 million. 150,000 to 20 million. Let's do a calculation here. What do they put, guys? Guys, they put what? 150,000. After 7 years, they got what? 20, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what's their return? 7, 20, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 divided by 150,000. How much is it? Anybody has a scientific? No scientific? Yeah, we'll do it. Here. 20 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 150,000. This divided by this. That's 133 times to the root 7. To the root 7. So this to the root 7. 1 by 7. Yeah, all good. What are we talking about? We're talking about what? 200%, huh? 200%. 200%. Every year. Every year. Right? So the innocent deal is 200% every year. Yeah? Okay? Here it's 23% every year. This is no venture capital game. It's different. Okay? Make sense?
What is like a common and generally accepted CF?
Good. I thought this question will come. Good. What is like a generally accepted rule of thumb? Rule of thumb. What is like a generally accepted rule of thumb? Good. I'll show it to you. Right. At seed, level, yeah, your idea is just a seed. It's like about 300-400% is the hurdle. And there's no point of going into a seed without 300-400% returns. Yeah, because the failures are so huge there. Rule of thumb in venture capital says that at seed stage of failure is 7 out of 8. 7 out of 8 you will lose your money. And only 1 out of 8 projects will get. So that 1 out of 8 project will have to earn money for all what you lost. These are rule of thumbs. So at startup, we are talking about good 200%. First round down to about 70%, 80%, because by this the initial risk is gone. You have given the product to the market is accepting it, so there's some. Second round 60%. Third round mezzanine, which is this case, is like 50-45%. Yeah, right? And then bridging anywhere around 25-35%. Yeah. Yeah. Make sense? Questions, observations, suggestions? How is the venture capital market in Dubai? Not very hot. No venture capitalists in Dubai. No, not heard of.
It is Sharia compliant products are there in the market, but mostly given to the locals.
Comments? Suggestions?
This example that we discussed,
Okay.
and we are saying 25-35% in bridging level. It's okay. Or let's say
25-35%
level 45, 50% also
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
We're getting 23% here.
Yeah, but this is not bridging, no? This example is a mezzanine.
Yeah.
Mezzanine, it has to be about 45%.
They wanted at least 45%.
This is actually a more dangerous mezzanine, because the company is actually not mezzanine, the company is stuck. Company quite stuck.
So it's coming as secondary.
Coming like a secondary. So 50, 60, 70% is what we should be looking at. Right, I hope you enjoyed this case. Good. We are moving on. Tell me the housekeeping now. Where do we?
Got to break and then we have another session. There's another session starting. We have a break now actually.
At 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
We have a break at 6.
6, yeah.
7:30 is the finish, right?
6 we have a break, and then 3 hours we move on with a, again I think break somewhere around.
No?
Break. Yeah.
There's one now.
There's one now.
Now, we went on.
We went on.
We went on, so we
There's one
usually
break.
have 3 breaks in the afternoon.
So we only do 2.
We will take 2 today.
Right.
We usually have 3 breaks in the afternoon.
I think we were so engrossed in this case and we didn't feel the time going back. We took a 1 break less. That's all right.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody wants to take a bio break, it's okay, before we start our next session. Right. Mario did this with you, is it? CapEx, a little bit about cost of capital, then what? Then NPV, IRR. Yeah? Yeah, he did? Yeah? Mario? That guy is talking. Yeah? Mario, other than that. But NPV and IRR, they are Mario. I agree with Mario. Right? Okay, right. So here we are taking your knowledge to a much advanced level through this session. This session will continue probably till about lunch tomorrow. Right? Okay? It will be a very long session. So, budgeting process and strategic planning is driving the capex. Now, a company generally has two types of expenses. They have the revenue expenses and they have the capital expenses. Revenue expenses are the expenses you incur on a day-to-day basis. A good example are the salaries paid to you by your employers is a good revenue expenditure. Because the salaries are incurred every month and you see instant results of people working and contributing. Maybe another revenue expenditure could be stationery, office rent, electricity, power, water, or revenue expenditure. Now what is so light about revenue expenditure is that even if you make a mistake in revenue expenditure, it's not very difficult to make a correction. Right? Let's say you recruited a wrong person. Can you make a correction? Of course you can make a correction. Somebody told me that in Dubai, by paying 3 to 6 months salaries, you can terminate a contract without much complications. So let's say you recruited a wrong manager. The company can correct that. But capital expenditure, on the other hand, are much significant in volume, significant in value. You don't take capital expenditure decisions every day. And if you make a wrong capex decision, it can hurt the company for a long, long time. Right? So give me an example of a capex.
Plant and machinery.
Yeah, you invest in a plant. Let's say you want to start a business in Russell Khaimah. So you put a lot of money in Russell Khaimah, bought the land, did the building, and now you have realized that the transportation from Dubai to Russell Khaimah is so expensive. Right? If you are to use the seaport to Russell Khaimah land transportation is so expensive, and as a result now whole factor costs are going up. So maybe now you have realized that going to Russell Khaimah is a mistake. You should have kept your factory in Dubai. Now how are you going to correct it? It's not like sacking a person and correcting the revenue expenditure. Are you going to uproot your whole factory and bring it to Dubai? You technically can't do that. So taking a wrong capex can give you devastating results. Now Sri Lankan Airlines, your favorite airline, came up with a strategy to capture short-haul flights. So they thought by capturing Indian traffic, they could bring all Indian traffic down to Colombo, and from Colombo they can take the Indians to the rest of the world. So what did they do? They bought so many narrow-bodied aircrafts into their fleet. Narrow-bodied means you have only one aisle, 3 seats this side, 3 seats on the other side. Narrow-body. Now the narrow-body can only fly very limited hours. They can't fly over 5 hours, 6 hours. I think they can marginally fly to Dubai. So they bought so many narrow-bodied aircrafts, and ultimately the Indian strategy didn't work as they really wanted it to be. Got it? Therefore, now most of these aircrafts are not used to its real purpose. Got it? And how are you going to correct it now? You can't correct it unless you sell those aircrafts to another airline. And who would buy an aircraft which is custom made for Sri Lankan Airlines unless you sell it for a big discount? What I'm trying to tell you is that a capex decision had to be taken very carefully, very carefully. And if a wrong decision is taken, it takes such a lot of time and effort to correct that mistake. So that's why capex decisions are looked at in a very careful way before the decision is taken. Right? So that's the background to this whole capex story. Now, if we take the fundamental process of capex, now there is a section for pre-screen. Pre-screen the project. But pre-screening cannot be completed without knowing what the funding is. I repeat, pre-screening cannot be completed without knowing what the funding is. Now we are going to go back to something we discussed before lunch. Yeah? Funding has two broad options. What are they?
Debt and equity.
Debt and equity. Yeah? Which funding is cheaper, guys?
Equity.
Which funding is cheaper to a company?
Debt are cheaper.
Debt is cheaper. Equity is expensive. Do you now see this link? You can't pre-screen a project without knowing what funding you are going to put into the project. Amazing, huh? Right? Let's say you are funding a project with debt. Then what do? You discount the project. I'm sure Mario taught you this. You discount the project using cost of capital. And what is the cost of capital this time? It's cost of debt. Capital is debt this time. So you discount the project with cost of debt. Cost of debt is cheaper. Therefore, your discounting is going to be less. Got it? If you are going to fund the project with equity, equity is expensive and you are going to charge the project with an expensive cost of capital. With an expensive cost of capital. And your discount is going to be high. You are going to discount it at a higher rate. So what is this NPV is all about? You are taking a project, discounting the project from its cost of capital, virtually to cost of debts or cost of equity, and checking whether the project can withstand the cost of the finance. I repeat, checking whether the project can withstand the cost of finance. It's an amazing thing to do. So that's why we can't pre-screen a project without knowing what funding is. So the fundamental question you need to ask in capital budgeting is what? What's your source of funds? Very good. What's your source of funds? And how costly is your funds? And from your funding, you take cost of capital, see, to pre-screen your project. Yeah? Getting there? Right, let's do something very simple, right? Again, I'm asking what is cost of capital, the cost of funding. And this is what we have been discussing before lunch at length. Here is a familiar slide. Here is a familiar slide. You saw this slide before. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah? And here are some figures. If you are funding a project with equity, that's the expected rate of return by the shareholders. If you are funding a project with preference shares, your cost of funds is the fixed dividend. If you are funding a project with debentures, your cost of fund is the interest rate. If you are funding a project with bank loans, your cost of fund is the interest rate. Yeah. So you need to understand the cost of funds. Correct? If you are funding a project with the internal funds of the company, then the cost of capital is the ROI of the project. Why? Because by taking those funds away and investing it in a new project, your opportunity loss is the return on investment. I see few heads nodding, but few heads looking at me as if they have seen an alien. Let me take an example. Let me take an example. Right, a good example. Right. Have you heard of John Keells? Yes? So let me draw John Keells. John Keells Holdings Limited. What's the ROI of John Keells? Yes? 13, close. Little less. 11? You said 11? Guess or you're sure?
I think I've seen it somewhere.
Ah, very good. It's 11. Explain ROI to me, somebody? What is ROI? Return on investment. So whatever you have in the company, your company is generating 11%. Right? Now you are starting a new project called Cinnamon. What are the cinnamon hotels? Cinnamon Lake, Cinnamon Grand, Cinnamon Red, what? Cinnamon Green, and Cinnamon Grand. Right, cinnamons. Where do you want to take the next cinnamon? Where do you want to go? Huh? Trinco, right. So we have Cinnamon Trinco. New project, existing project? New project. So is it fair for me to draw the project outside the John Keells circle? It's a new project. Cinnamon Trinco, his idea, not my idea. Right? Now, guys, you are pulling money out from John Keells and putting it into What have you done? You have pulled money out from the John Keel circle. Did you borrow? No. Did you issue equity? No. These are internal funds. You are just pulling it out from the circle. See, I am pulling the money out from the circle. See? What are you losing? Had you kept this money in the circle, guaranteed, what would you have? Now you are pulling this money out, you are losing an opportunity cost of 11%. So your real cost of funds, even though you didn't borrow, even though you didn't go to the stock market, your cost of funds is the loss of that 11%. Now do you understand this? If you do internal funding, your cost of capital is current return on investment of the company. Because you are pulling money out from the circle and creating a new circle. Yeah? You like Trinco, huh? Yeah. Got it? So it all depends on the cost of capital. So what are we doing? Called discounting. We take a project and we charge the cost of capital to the project, and that's discount. Take a project, we charge the cost of capital to the project. Right? Got it? Say, if we take this project called Project Alpha, which is given in your handouts. Good? These are all my notes, huh? Oh, I can write a book with this, no? These are all my notes. I don't know, I am this good, yeah? I convert this all into, these are all what I have written. Sure, good, yeah? Very good. So this is my good. Right, sorry about it. Right. So now, let's say this project, guys, is funded with debt. Let's say this project is funded by debt at 10%. So we simply ask one question. Fine. What is your funding? Debt. How costly is your funding? 10%. So let's discount this project by 10%. ඇත්තටම මේ ඩිස්කවුන්ට් කරනවා කියලා මොකද කරන්නේ? කොස්ට් එක charge කරනවා. ඩිස්කවුන්ට් කරනවා කියන්නේ කොස්ට් එක charge කරනවා. Got it? Can you discount this and calculate the NPV? Yeah? Can you discount this and calculate the NPV? You can Find the discounting factors in the discounted table, which is issued to you. You can check under 10% and find this. Yeah? What do you get? Is this good? Is this good? Do you get a 14,080? Right, now this is Mario's work. I didn't teach anything new to you. This is all what Mario taught you. Yeah? Everybody's good? Now what I'm going to tell you now is how you interpret. Got it? Now this is where we get very serious, right? This is where we get into boardroom stuff. First of all, are we all good with 14,080?
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah? Shiv. Ish. Right, guys. Explain 14,080 to me. This is the challenge. Explain 14,080 to me. Somebody explain the right definition, exactly the right way. I'll give extra 1 mark at the examination. I'll get down his index, his or her index number and give you a mark. Yes?
If you start,
Guys.
If you start a business today.
If you start a business today, okay, let me slightly correct you. If you start this project today,
With 120,000 investment.
okay,
Your income over a period of 5 years, your what you will end up with, the value of that your total revenue in the current value
is what?
is the 14,000.
Correct but very basic. Yes?
Explain in Mr. Mario's terms.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's easier. So you get 120,000 and you put it in a project, right? So you get a certain return after 5 years.
Certain return.
After
So
5
talk the
years.
numbers now.
Yeah.
Don't say
So
certain.
that value of money, what is the value of that money at present? So it's like you take 120,000, put it into a machine, right? And you press it and you get some value addition to that. So that value addition as of now is 14,080.
I'm not happy.
You have to add the cost of capital.
Cost of capital is 10%.
Yeah, if you invest today 120,000 in this project with the cost of capital of 10%, you will end up with positive NPV or the positive. Today, in today's term, you will earn 14,080.
You will earn 14,080.
You will make 14,000. The net cash inflows in today's term.
Now only I realize you are president of the Chartered Institutes in Dubai. Yeah, right. That's why I see how this all technical stuff comes in. Right. Okay. Rani, you want to go?
This is the present value of your future cash flows, the total of
Present value of the future cash flows. How do you explain this to a 65-year-old chairman?
The net value addition to the business.
How do you explain this to a 65-year-old chairman who know nothing about future value, present value, value addition? Can you develop your answer a little bit? What did you say?
The net value addition to
The net value addition to whom?
the company.
To the business. And how can this be the net value addition?
Based on what you are going to earn from the project, what will be the today's value of that cash out inflows, and then what we are going to invest to get that cash flow, and then the return will be there.
Guys, yes, please.
I'm explaining to a 65-year-old.
65-year-old chairman. Very good. Right, like me. Right.
We spend 120,000 today. At the end of 5 years, we will recover our expenditure, plus we will have 14,080 in addition to that.
If we borrow 120,000 today to invest in the project, and at 10% interest
Guys, listen to him, right.
Yeah.
He's a supply chain guy, yeah. He's a supply chain guy, not a finance guy, but he's picking this up, right. Start from the beginning.
Yeah, if we borrow 120,000 today to invest in the project, with 10% interest that we have to pay to the bank.
Good.
After 5 years, after paying all the interest and money to the bank.
The real return on the project is 14.184. Can this project be funded at a cost of capital of 10%?
Yes.
Yes, why? Because after you give 10% as the cost of funds, you still have something left. Can this project be funded at 11%?
Yes.
Yes. 12%?
Yes.
13%?
Yes.
14%?
Yes.
Which is better, 10 or 14? 10. Why? Lower the cost of funds, more value is left to you. Right? So did we talk about inflation? Nothing. This is all cost of funds, cost of capital stuff. Correct? Yeah? So if you fund this project at 9%, we make even better money. 8% even better. But who's going to give us money?
Question part, so nothing how many section
All good. All right. So thanks for coming back fast. So we'll give this advantage back to you. Sacrifice. We'll finish the class half an hour early for sacrificing your break. Right. Now guys, put the cost of funds back to 10%. Put the cost of funds back to 10%. Right. Now, can someone who didn't speak earlier interpret the 14,108 to me when your cost of funds are 10%? Who wants to go? Someone from this row? Why don't you explain this to me?
That is the extra earnings
Extra earnings.
after even paying the cost of capital.
Brilliant. That's now see we are getting much more clarity. Is the extra earning to the business after settling cost of funds. After settling the cost of funds. And it gives you an indication whether the project can withstand the cost of funds. This project can withstand this cost of funds because even after settling 10%, it holds at 14,108. Right? 14,108. I want to tell you a very interesting story about a real life incident. No? About a real life incident. I can't tell you the name of the company because this CFO is a very dear friend of mine. We studied together. But this marketing managers who ran this product for this huge company was a student of mine at PI. So she came to similar sessions like you and was learning this, and she was a marketeer, know nothing about finance. She was managing a product in Sri Lanka, and this product was imported and sold. Ever since, she has been dying to get an approval from the board. What do you think? To produce it in Sri Lanka, but you need a lot of machinery. It's a capex decision. You need to invest in a German machine to produce that, and lot of money we are talking about. So finally, after so many appeals, the board told her, we'll give you 10 minutes in our next board meeting, convince us. 10 minutes. So on that day, now she is ready to face the board with all the makeup on, and now she is ready to tell her that she wants to produce this in Sri Lanka. She went in, sat in front of the board, CFO of the board put the project value, NPV. I'm going to show you that NPV, right? And I'm going to hide certain facts. Yeah? The CFO and this girl has a small rift also. So what is the CFO trying to say?
This is not viable.
Mr. Chairman,
This is not viable.
the project is
Not viable.
negative, not worth. And this girl is a manager, and now here is the CFO, board member. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, this is not going to work out. Minus net value. Now, Chairman know nothing about net value and cost of funds, all that. He don't know. This girl asked the golden question. What could it be? She had the guts to ask the golden question. She asked the golden question. What? She said, is my project negative? At what cost of funds my project negative? Do you think it's a fair question to ask? Yeah. Can I know at what, are you getting? At what cost of funds the project is negative? So, the director finance or the CFO had no choice to show this. And moment this was shown to the chairman, what could be the reaction of the chairman? What? Are you nuts? Are you funding this project at 18%? Us being ... being such a powerful company in Sri Lanka, are you telling me what? That you can't borrow or obtain funds at a better rate? Now the whole pressure is coming back to the CFO and saying, what? Are you doing your job right? Is this the best you can get? So he immediately took his phone, chairman, spoke to a bank, CEO of a bank, and said, so and so, I have a project like this, what can you give me? So he must have told a figure, but he didn't want to embarrass the CFO, very mature chairman. He said, fine, Mr. CFO, I am giving you time till the next board meeting. Tell me a better cost of funds. So all this because that girl asked the golden question, at what cost of funds are you telling me? So guys, there is nothing called a bad project in this world. A project can be badly funded. So next board meeting, CFO had no choice. He brought the right cost of funds. Same project, nothing else was changed, only the cost of funds were changed. Now the project is beautifully working. Project was approved, board approved the project. Now this particular product, I can tell you, this product is being manufactured in Sri Lanka. So do you now understand the link between NPV and the cost of capital? It's about, can your project hold the cost of capital? Yeah? It's like what is left over in your safe. Having settled your cost of funds, what is left for you for the business? If it is positive, take it. If it is positive, take it. Yeah? So here's a new perspective for you to think on NPV. All what you said is right. Future value, present value. You think? Yeah? Good? Right, let's do another exercise.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
When we are calculating the net cash inflow, ideally the depreciation is not counting, right? So when you take the P&L where the depreciation is calculated, so even though we get a positive cash flow here, but when it comes to the P&L, we will get this sometimes negative results. How we can handle that type of situation when the P&L is minus?
Can't be.
We take the depreciation.
Cannot be. It cannot be. Why? Here, instead of charging depreciation, what are you charging? You are charging the whole cost. Depreciation means you divide this into 10 slots and charge for 10 years. Methana, you are taking it as a lethal shot. Whole thing is.
But if you have a couple of projects, then you have to consider our employee which one is the more positive to go for.
Absolutely. If you have more options, then you need to do an NPV for all options and pick the NPV with the highest value. Because you are trying to maximize the value to your shareholders.
And also the number of years that you are probably calculating will be depending on the project or
Depending on the
type of thing that you are going with.
That's right.
Some may be going to 10 years, 15 years, some may be even 3-4 years.
Correct. Correct. But NPV is NPV. They have taken everything into consideration. Good points. Why NPV is cash based? Why cannot it be accounting based? Why are we so cash flow based? Yes? Why can't it be accounting based?
What do you mean accounting?
Accounting profit. Why are we going for cash flow? Why can't we take the profit and discounting?
This is the worst case scenario.
This is the worst case scenario.
Because you cannot service those debts by the assets.
You cannot service the P&L by the assets.
I think it's about checking the liquidity whether you have sustainability in the project.
It's about checking the liquidity and sustainability. Good point. I like your point. What else?
Cash is
Cash
Cash is required before the profit.
Cash is required before the profit, or cash is important than profit?
Cash is important.
Guys, do you have Facebook profiles? Don't tell me, no. Yeah, you have? You have your profile picture? Yeah? Do you have your photo in the profile pictures? Yeah? What photo do you upload as your profile picture? How many photographs you must have taken? Photo 1000ක් විතර ගන්නකොට එකක් එනවා මේ මමද කියලා හිතන ෆොටෝ එකක්. හරිද? තරම මේ මමද කියලා හිතන සයිස් ෆොටෝ එකක් එනවනේ. ඒකනේ දාන්න. හරිනේ? Right. Do you see the link? PNL is like your Facebook profile picture. It's the best.
Most decorated.
The most decorated. You take the accounting policies. You take the accounting policies and use the accounting policies to the maximum. Maximum, and you shape it nicely. දැන් අපි හොර වැඩක් කළා නෑනේ Facebook එකට දාලා තියෙන කාගේ පින්තූරයද? මගේ පින්තූර. I didn't cut my face and put Shah Rukh Khan's face. No, that is illegal. But මම කොහොම හරි අර angle මේ angle දාලා කොහොම හරි කරලා මාව ගත්ත ලස්සනට. So have I done anything wrong? No. Be me. But this is like the beautiful word, the most decorated angle. Cash flow is like your national identity card picture. That's you, and really. Am I with you? Yeah?
100%.
And there cannot be anything worse than that picture, your national ID picture. So, whether you do it or someone in Canada does it or someone in Australia does it or someone in New Zealand does it, cash flow is cash flow. It's like money going out, money coming in. There is no interpretation to it, there is no definition to it, there is no accounting adjustment to it, there is no decoration to it. Cash flow. What is money going out? What is coming in? Everybody will do it exactly the same. That's why for project appraisal, for capital budgeting, we do take cash flow. We do not take accounting profitability. Right? Make sense? Good. So now here are some points for you to pass the exam. About NPV is given in extra reading. But not all stuff about NPV. I'll talk about terminal value in time to come. Yeah. What else? Then you take the payback. Now payback is about how fast you recover your funds. The initial investment, how fast you recover your initial investment. That's very simple. No, I'm sure Mario taught you this well. So you take a cumulative cash flow, and see at what point you get paid back. Yeah. Now here, you get paid back at the end of the 4th year. Yeah. By taking undiscounted cash flow. Meaning by the third year you haven't paid back, by the fourth year you have overpaid. By the third year you haven't paid back, that's why there's a negative. But by the fourth year you have overpaid. So when exactly are you paying back? Anytime between third and the fourth year. So you need to do some mathematics. This is only to pass the exam, nothing in the boardroom. You need to do some mathematics to see when exactly it breaks even, only to satisfy your examiner, who is me, right? When you are paying back is 3 years plus something, because by the third year you haven't paid back, by the fourth year you have overpaid back. So that is, during the fourth year you are earning 50,000 and what you only need is 20,000 to break even, and you have 365 days. Yeah. During the fourth year you have 50,000 coming into the company, but you only need to cover how much? 20,000. Maybe 50,000 no nahi 20,000 di banadi. So at which day we are hitting that 20,000 over 50,000? So that is 3 years plus 72 days, I guess. So 3 years and 72 days we hit the break even. No?
146
yes.
days.
144 days.
146 days.
146 days. Sorry. Yeah. Makes sense? Now this is calculating the payback using non-discounted cash flow, which is the more popular method. But you can calculate the payback using discounted cash flow. To do that, you have to discount your cash first and then calculate the cumulatives. We call it the discounted cash flow method. So we calculate cumulative discounted cash flow. Yeah? Good? So there, it's like 4 years plus something. 4 years plus something. Can you figure out what is that plus something? 4 years plus something. By the fourth year you haven't break even, but by the fifth year you have. So it's 4 years plus something. Can you do a mathematical calculation to identify what that 4 years plus something?
56 days. 56 days. 56 days.
56 days? Can't be.
4 years plus 56.
Can't be. 89 days. 89 days is good. It is like you want to cover a gap of 4550 and the whole year is going to give you 18630 into a 365. This is like a 1/4, no? 1/4 into 365 has to be somewhere around 90. Is it 90 exactly?
Yeah, 89.
89.14.
So I'm going to get some pleasure at the examination asking you to calculate this to 2 decimal places. You know, some very cheap fun. Yeah? Yeah, all okay back there? Good? You got it? Right. Question? Good. This would be a good juncture for us to stop, because if I start on the IRR explanation, it will take about another 20-25 minutes. So we'll stop at this, and tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. We are going to continue this till lunch, and I'm going to teach you how to prepare a cash flow, because if you are given the cash flow like this, discounting the cash flow, anybody can do, right? Even your sons or daughters could do it. The real skill is how to work out your cash. So I'm going to give you a case tomorrow, asking you to work out your own cash flows, and your exam will take the exact same format. I'll give you a case at the exam. From that case, you need to work out the cash flow. So tomorrow, what we're going to do first up is a dress rehearsal for the exam. Yeah? So don't miss it. Got it? All good, guys? Right? So it has been a long day. You've been a good crowd, asking good questions, and you sacrificed 2 breaks, right?